I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, welcome back to one of my random reacting videos or stuff where I'm just talking about vehicles I'd like to buy. You're probably in the same position if you're watching this, I don't know. My aim, obviously, of the game is I am trying to find something in the early 2000s, 2010 times, so semi-modern but not too modern. And I'm trying to pick the good stuff, like interesting stuff, like this one, the V10 TDI Touareg, which is kind of a really funky car. Yeah, I mean, yeah, cars like that just don't exist anymore. Like, no one builds a 5-liter V10 TDI in a VW, or VW even built the V12 TDI Q7, but I do prefer the look of a Touareg. I mean, I'm not an SUV guy whatsoever, but if I had to have one, this is kind of cool. Especially that's the R50. That's probably really hard to get, to be fair. I don't even know if it exists in right-hand drive or not, but people can correct me, or you can correct me if you know any better. I remember back in the days there was a movie called Repo Men, and they released. They were driving these cars there, which is a facelift, but the matte black, I'm not sure, but like the whole thing looks kind of cool. I don't know if it was like a V10, because it's never made public and they never talked about it. I researched this, but there's nothing which tells me which engines there were, so if you know any better, let me know. I don't think this is the actual one they had in the movie. I think this one is the one they had in the movie. That's like a screenshot of the movie, which is cool. I think that's an inspired one as well. But yeah, it looks like I'm not the only one. Some of you guys, especially, like that look as well. And if you pair that with a V10, where's that car? There, with a V10, that's the R50 edition, by the way. It's a cool car. There's obviously the W12 petrol version, I'm aware, which is the same engine as the Phaeton, VW Phaeton, the W12, which is also a pretty cool engine and very rare. A Phaeton W12 will be kind of a cool car to have anyways. But this being a V10 diesel, I've never seen such an engine in my entire life. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen anything like that, but that's why I think these years 2000 to 2010 are kind of, in my opinion, the craziest years, because technology was really good enough to make cool stuff, but it wasn't like overwhelmingly just touchscreens and stuff, so cars were still cars. So that's basically my take on it. Anyways, I just looked at a few videos. Let's just start with a 45-second little video, because obviously you're buying these cars, people will want something slightly off-roady. I'm pretty sure like a Defender or a G-Wagon and stuff like that is better. Yeah, because to me it's not really an all-terrain kind of car, I think, because it's too posh looking. Just have a look at it though. It's got twin turbochargers as well. It does sound like a diesel. Love it or hate it. I was never a diesel fan. I always preferred petrol, but like for such an engine, it does sound kind of cool, because it sounds kind of industrial, which matches that vehicle quite well. I like it. Sounds like a proper powertrain, doesn't it?
Achtung, Loch.
No idea what language that was, but it sounds cool. Like, I do like something which sounds industrial and things, and this one certainly ticks that bill. Next video is just a little acceleration, because I just need to see if it's good. So Touareg V10 TDI was twin turbocharged, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. 313 horsepower. So this engine, from what I read as well, and it does make sense if you look at the figures, was detuned. So there's probably room upwards if the gearbox can take it, because that's probably also something to be considering. And I mean, all the other parts as well, I'm fairly certain the internet will have something. Saying that the problem with these kind of cars is they're super rare, so there's not that much information. So yeah, finding someone who has got that experience with tuning such vehicles is not easy, especially not in the UK, where they're even more rarer, I think. Yeah, let's just have a quick look at that. Yeah, this sounds... It sounds like a diesel, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not a fake exhaust kind of person, like, you know, not an original exhaust kind of person normally, but in this case, I think, in my opinion, it would benefit from a nicer exhaust, because you do want to hear that V10 a little bit more, because it sounds a bit constrained, if you're asking me. Like, I don't know what you think, but yeah, just have a listen to that again. Wait, you can hear the big engine, it's just not. It sounds right. It's kind of nice. Sounds very smooth as well, though. That's in Germany, by the way. You can add up by that sign there. There we go. Yeah, it's quick. 0 to 60, 0 to 100, I don't know how many seconds, but probably not like mega quick, but it's quick. 7 seconds, it is quite quick. It's not like 3 seconds or something, but it's very decent. My little SG is quicker, I think, but... You can tell, you know, by the revs, it's a diesel. You can't rev a diesel that high for everything, because you don't know, but I guess you do. The usable band seems to be 2.5 to 3,500 revs. Yeah, you can literally drive at 200 kilometers an hour at 4,000 revs per minute, which is quite funky, isn't it? Yeah, it does move forward. Oh, here you go. These are the figures. 80 to 120, that's an odd thing. 5.5, 100 to 100 to 3.2, 100 to 200, 29.4. I don't really know if that's a good figure or not, because I never really cared too much about the 100 to 200. It's not very usable. Yeah, everyone cares about the 100 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60. Yeah, which was 7 seconds, I think. So there's that. Yeah, I was obviously earlier. I was watching videos about now the RS4 V8 and the C63. So that's a completely different car, and that's obviously the reason why I'm the kind of person. If I had space and money, I would have a collection of cars. Maybe not Ferraris and things, but stuff like that. I don't know if you can relate, but things like that would be kind of nice in a collection. I don't know why, but. Just watching this because I want to hear the sounds a bit. That's a pre-facelift, I think. It doesn't sound nice, it's quite subdued, but it does sound nice. And very smooth. Back in the days when VW built some cool engines. I mean, you probably jacked up the suspension quite high, because the gap between the rear and the wheel arch is massive, which is useful for a car like that. Yeah, it's nice. Drifting around in snow, not the most useful thing, but you can get a good idea of what it sounds like. It seems stock anyway, so Yeah, what car would I want to buy? I don't know. I wouldn't say no to that either. It's just a hard thing. I mean, I keep finding these interesting cars in my life, thinking about them, and then having to talk about it. That's basically the whole point. I'm doing this just so I can debate with myself and yourself what I want. That's another open exhaust video, I think, in Belgium, by the looks of it. Yeah, Belgium. That sounds nice. That one sounded nice. Probably the way the camera angle was or how it recorded it, but that sounded nice. Like it's not like a it doesn't turn heads if you drive past because unless you know. But that's kind of nice too. I've got one more video ready here. And this is probably my last video because the content is not that much. I can't find much content on this car, which makes it even more interesting to me. I think that's in the US. Someone's test driving the car. Just have a listen at the starter motor because I love the sounds of starter motors of big engines.
This will be a warm start.
I couldn't hear anything. Ah, sad. Oh well. Yeah, sorry, that was no sound. Let me just try to find one as well. But it's got the early beginnings of the inbuilt sat-nav stuff and air conditioning stuff for each seat separately and all that. I just don't care about any of that. I just want to hear the engine and see it driving. Come on, drive it.
Okay, this has oversized wheels and tires on it. They do have spacers on them. You do get an occasional rub.
Nice,
we've got it in normal height right now. So we'll go ahead and listen for it. It's nothing obnoxious. And we're not even getting it right now.
I mean, they're very smooth and quiet cars, which is kind of cool too for long travel, I suppose. I'm not sure if it was very good on fuel, but
we're gonna go lock to lock.
I don't think it was.
It might just be over bumps. It's been a while since I've driven this one. It's full lock to the left at normal ride height. That's full lock.
How awesome would it be to have a V10 TDI? I don't know, I just can't.
So it's pretty minor, but we just want you to know it's there every once in a while. You'll hear something depending on what ride height you're in. But the fitment is pretty good. Nice aggressive look. Okay, it's warmed up, so I'll go ahead and it's about half throttle right there.
Yeah, it does drive nice. Yes, yeah. Well, there's no denying about that. I don't think I'll ever own one though, because that engine is probably incredibly expensive to maintain because it's big. It's not the biggest V10, I think, from what I've seen, but you can't get to anything, so you always have to lift it out, so you have to pay someone to do that, and someone who's actually willing to take it on. So yeah, I think it's going to be an incredibly expensive car to maintain, especially spare parts as well, because obviously it's so rare that getting spare parts is going to be an absolute nightmare, especially when you're hitting that age when VW is going to stop selling stuff for it. And yeah, it's probably not a very practical
40,
car for
50,
that
60,
thing sense for that kind of
70
life, but apart from that,
75.
it's a pretty cool car for SUV thing, which I'm not a fan of in general. But
Get on the brakes for traffic. it drives really nicely.
It does drive really nicely. I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Anyways, I'm going to stop it right there just to make a little quick video. Again, I'm not an SUV fan. I probably said it about a gazillion times by now. But if it looks like that, that's probably the original shot. But if you want something a bit more realistic, the R50 is the body kit thingy for the V10. I think it was a special edition. I'm actually wondering if you can find one just off the cuff. VW Touareg R50 for sale. Let's see what comes up with. Probably Auto Trader. We don't like Auto Trader anymore because they're too expensive for the salespeople, and that's not fair, to be fair. No, can't find an R50 as expected. They're all normal. And the 3-litre TDI V6, which is a bit lame. Like, I'd rather go petrol then. Piston head seems to be a bit better on the Google search results. Here's an R50. 2020. That was bound to happen. Like, trying to find an R50 is going to be tough. There's not even a price on it. Because the normal V10s are actually surprisingly cheap. VW Touareg V10 TDI for sale. They're cheap because they're probably super expensive to maintain. Here you go. Like 3,695. 8 grand for Let's just look at the nicer one, I suppose. That's just a facelift one because the lights have got like a round bump underneath. I would settle for that. I don't know why that one is drastically more expensive than the other one. I would have to do some research. But yeah, they're very cheap to buy, but I reckon when you own them, it's going to kill you financially. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, that was my quick video about the VW Touareg. Not my most favorite car, or I guess, but still a really cool car, and I just like that engine, which is really cool. Just don't forget to maybe leave a comment or just put your input in a comment down there. Just like, subscribe, and the usual stuff. Help with like a non-existent channel out, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.